As 2022 comes to an end, we're going to have a look back at the Raptors season so far. There's been some great moments, there's been some bad moments, but there's been a lot of sadness, questions, and confusion so far. One thing is for certain, though, this is Toronto's team, and we're always going to have the core of Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. That's true. Yes, thank you, Jelani there. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and Scottie Barnes as a part of this team. They've had it. I think at the beginning of this season, we were showing ourselves to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. People probably had us at top 5, maybe top 6, somewhere over there. I actually had I think I had us at top 6. I said, yeah. I was like, maybe playoffs, they're going to make it there. Siakam showed out in the beginning of the first, I think it was about a month and a half there where he was going off. He was showing us that he wanted to be top 5 and he's willing to put that into work on the court. Unfortunately, he got injured there for a little bit. And I think that's kind of when the Raptors' woes started. While he was out, they were on a couple losing streaks. And while he was out, we also saw the lineups change quite a bit because the injury factor has been a problem with the Raptors. Pascal Siakam has been in and out. Fred VanVleet has been in and out. OG Anunoby, who was having a fantastic season, also had to be in and out every now and then. Same with Gary Trent, Scottie Barnes. So we saw that this team, although like they were super talented, there was not much depth to them beyond just the core guys. So guys, we're about 3 months into this team, 3 months into the season. What are your, immediate takeaways from what this roster looks like?
That this core is not it. I think that you're seeing that, especially in the latter half of 2022, the last month or so, that this core is not going to be the core when the Raptors eventually, if ever, win an NBA title once again. It'll be a hard pill, a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow.
It's true,
but they're seeing it, though. You're seeing it on a nightly basis that Fred VanVleet, for as great of a player he is, he's limited. Pascal Siakam, as many strides as he's made, he's limited. OG Anunoby, for as big as he stepped up as a defensive player, as a defensive stopper, and on the offensive side, he's still limited, right?
Offensively.
And it's totally fine to be limited. No, there is no perfect NBA player out there. Maybe LeBron, but LeBron's got some flaws. But I think the biggest thing that all Raptors fans and NBA people around should notice about the Raptors is they're in a period of influx. They're in a period where, as Noor mentioned, there's been highs and lows. There's been no consistency, right? And now you look at the rest of the Eastern Conference in the NBA, there's so much parity. There's so many good teams. And there's so much skill. The NBA has never been as skilled before as it is right now. And the Raptors lack, and I think the most important position, the area, to win in basketball is skill. They don't have enough high-level skill to be successful.
Yeah, or like superstar talent, right?
But it's not just superstar skill.
Even stars.
General skill, just general basketball skills.
And I look at the roster, and we know, I say it every time, Division 6-9, right? It's been nice, right? But I don't see it being a championship level.
And let me ask you guys about the whole Vision 6-9 thing. Yes, it looks really promising defensively, right? But there's a high ceiling and there's a low ceiling but a high floor. So by that I mean, yes, they'll be good, but they'll never be great.
I just see a lot of the same template. It's the same guy, right? And none of them are really that great offensively.
I think the point of Vision 6-9 was to have everyone on the court not just be able to interchange roles, but be so tall that you're a defensive nightmare for other teams, right? Unfortunately, we haven't seen that defense at all. Like if you're supposed to be at least pick a struggle, be tall, get defense, or be tall, get a bucket. Like you have to do one or the other. You can't not do both because that's how you go on a 5-game losing streak. Continue, sorry.
No, and I think like the whole Vision 6-9 thing, it was a nice idea, but the NBA is all about shooting now. It's all about spacing. It's about putting the ball. Offense is supreme. Right?
To me, this got to be the one group that has this type of setup.
It's the most unique roster construction in the NBA, and it could people could have thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be an absolute like wing stopping machine, but at the end of the day, you still got to put the ball in the bucket. You still got to have, guys that can do that at a high clip and an elite level.
And are they on the Toronto Raptors right now?
No. And I think we can finally all agree that, the hype of the Scottie Barnes train has kind of died down a little bit. right?
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm gonna get you to my next
Well,
point
that's 'cause
actually
I
about Scottie
prepared.
Barnes.
I prepared.
Okay, Justin, I'm prepared. Thank you for the segue. A nice assist from you, if I may.
You know,
But yeah, Scottie Barnes coming off a Rookie of the Year, right? You're coming into this season, you're expecting him to be that guy, to be that rookie that the Raptors drafted. Obviously, I think growth is never going to be linear. You're going to see ups and downs constantly. I always refer back to Jason Tatum and his slump in the second year because he had that sophomore, the infamous sophomore slump. So maybe we are going too harsh on Scottie just now because, like you said, Scottie, this team is not just Scottie, it's a whole team. So maybe he's not around the right people, the right resources to be able to succeed right now because we've seen he has not been that smiley, bubbly, go lucky guy that we
Yeah, it's a
saw
different vibe
prior
right
to
now.
completely different
Yeah.
vibe. So he, I think, has been struggling on and off. He's been injured here and there as well. His ankle has been bothering him. But I think because of the lack of depth the Raptors have, he kind of had to put himself in a spot to just be like, no, I'm going to go play no matter what happens because this team needs me. And does that always equal to good performance? Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite,
But
guys.
I think you mentioned Tatum, but the only difference there,
we saw
he
Tatum.
was different at Duke. Like he was
Yeah.
a different
Yeah,
type of
no.
guy.
We saw
But,
his rookie year. He went at LeBron James
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals. Like you saw,
like I think Scottie,
you knew Jason Tatum was the
Yeah,
reason.
my whole thing is
Scottie's
like,
a more raw talent.
yeah,
than-
for
than
sure.
that.
It's
So,
more so just like you never know how people
yeah,
will
yeah.
grow up
But
to
I
be.
think
So
he's
second year is
gotta-
still too early.
He's gotta have time.
Yeah.
I
he
think
needs a lot of work.
a lot of Raptors Nation
Yeah.
right now is frustrated, rightfully so, because you're seeing what Cade Cunningham's doing when healthy.
healthy.
Obviously, you're seeing what Franz Wagner, who I told y'all is gonna be nice. Okay, what he's doing in
Jalen
Orlando.
Green.
When you're talking about Jalen Green, when you're talking about all these guys that were drafted in that draft, Mobley, of course.
Mobley.
Scottie, yes, he has the award, right? The Rookie of the Year award. But when you're comparing, that's what people like to do. Okay, that's what it is, right? A lot of people are disappointed with the progression it's a slow progression. But I must add, like you said, Noor, the ankle. It is there, okay? So he has been dealing with that ailment and having to do a bit more than asked, and a bit more than he wants to do
Absolutely.
on that ankle right now because the Raptors have been playing so bad. He has to do it on both ways, both sides of the court. So I want everyone to understand he's 21 years old in his sophomore season. It's gonna take time, and I get it. A lot of these young guys now, when they come in the league, the expectation is all-star. I need that right now. I need you to lead me to whatever promised land or whatever, because you're seeing all these guys quickly become superstars, right? It's going to take some time with Scottie Barnes because he's such a project. He's such a project. It's going to take years. I think it's years before we see the real potential.
When players come into the league now, some of them come in very polished. They're like, you always hear the comment, NBA ready.
And the thing is, he wasn't.
He was not NBA ready.
He was good with the Seminoles, okay? He was good, right? Because I watch a lot of ACC basketball. He did it defensively. I knew that he would bring that Raptors intensity defensively.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the overall talent, he, to me, was very raw.
His offensive game is still very raw. He's still trying to figure out how to, work out figure out the post from his shot, right? It's going to be a work in progress. But I think what could be a silver lining to the Raptors' kind of slow finish to the end of 2022, looking to 2023, is potentially if they decide to just, abandon ship on this year, that gives a chance for Scottie to rehab his ankle, get healthy, and get back in the weight room, build his body, get stronger. Now, he did a great job in the offseason. Coming in, you could notice he's bigger, stronger, but just get even more. And as he gets old, because it's still a very young kid, right? As he develops and gets older and older, he's going to develop into his man body. He's going to, become physically more mature. His game.
Body.
It's a sport terminology. Anyway.
He lost his train of thought.
But you know what? You're absolutely
Damn
right. I think Scottie definitely has years under his belt. He's gonna get there. I do think being around guys where like Mobley and Cade, Green, they really are at this point running their team. So Scottie has that level where he's like, well, it's not exactly my team because he has veterans
not
there.
yet, but soon it
Definitely
got
will
next.
be. Although the Raptors have had their fair share of struggles this season, and struggles, I say that with a capital S.
Struggling.
One guy has been coming through and being a light or even like a knight for under a shining armor. Is that how you say it?
A knight in shining
Knight in
armor.
I said under a shining armor.
Oh, just add to the list of things you
Knight
messed
in
up.
shining armor. Mr. OG Anunoby.
Yes, OG.
He currently is leading. I think he's top 3 when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year future candidates. He's up there with Rudy Gobert, Giannis. You know, all the greats that they usually
Brook
are.
Lopez too.
Brook
Don't
Lopez.
sleep,
Oh,
don't
Brook Lopez as well. I think he's number 1 actually.
He is.
So Brook
He's
Lopez
balling.
number 1, then Giannis, and then you're gonna see Scottie up there. But for him to be even among guys like that and their name says a lot about his talent. He's been a leader in the league when it comes to steals, almost averaging 3 every single night. And his absence is being noticed on this team when he's not there. That lack of intensity, the lack of defense, the lack of stopping those guys. Like I'm sure if Scottie OG was there last night, that the pool game where he went 41 points against the Raptors would not have happened. But I think is there a level, like let's say the Raptors come back, they're able to get those wins again, and OG is still that guy once he comes back from injury. Could he still go back in that conversation of being Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, I think that this is gonna stay throughout the season, in my opinion.
If the
Because-
Raptors bottom out as a team, right, and they
if they
just
like,
bottom
mail
out,
it.
yeah, they mail it, then he's not.
I don't even think so because I think that OG he gives us energy. He's one of the guys, one of the few guys that will try.
No denying that
on this team.
whatsoever. No denying that whatsoever.
Even
But
if we're tanking.
have you
Even
ever
if we're
seen a
tanking.
guy win a major award from a tanking team? When was the last
We're
time?
not tanking. We're like at the play-in. We're at the
But
play-in.
have you seen?
Well, I mean,
when was the last time you saw something like that?
I mean, I'm assuming that the Raptors will try to win games.
You're assuming, so you
Okay.
could become an ass because of that.
Look,
You could make yourself an ass out of that.
Well, before they both start fighting in the studio,
But
we're
I
going to
expect
have
it,
a
though.
look back and see. You know what? Maybe in June we'll be able to call OG Anunoby the Defensive Player of the Year for the Toronto Raptors. But that's a long time coming. And until then, the Raptors need to string together some wins. And we will see you next time on Homestand NBA.